Hey, how you doing? Good morning. This is Reggie Reg again, hitting at you with the little truth of the day. And basically what I want to speak about today is us as parents, as adults, as responsible adults, allowing our children to be provided with the tools to self-destruct. This also goes hand in hand on this increased juvenile crime being committed across this nation. And as I first said yesterday in my first episode, it starts with us. Us. The responsible adults. And if we not prepared to take hold of what our children are doing, and we want to allow no one else to do to help us, then what will we expect? What's going on now is the end result of us not censoring what our children do. So just think about this. It's way bigger than what we see. Way bigger than what the media shows. Way bigger than what they report. It's way bigger than that. It's much bigger than that. Because when you think about all the obstacles that stands in the way of us or our children being successful, is being provided by the people that want to continue to see our children fail, particularly and specifically black children. Okay? So what we are allowing is, as I mentioned yesterday on my first broadcast, what we doing is allowing the social media, the outside influence, negative outside influences to raise our children as opposed to us raising our children. I know that telephone is something that's important to keep in touch with your children. However, you got to monitor. You got to monitor and you got to monitor everything your child does. I mean, it's not like being a parole officer or probation officer, but you have to if you want your child to succeed. Otherwise, as I mentioned, negative influence is greater to captivating a child as opposed to positive influence, right? Because the negative influence shows so much promise. You see what I'm saying? It shows so much promise. You see these dope dealers with all the money and the cars and jewelry and things, and you see this, they're able to go to the store and get this and go get that. That's more of a magnet to a child than seeing a child go to school, get a degree, get a master's, get a bachelor, get an associate's, whatever, and still can't get a job. So we got to make it enticing to our children. And we also have to monitor what they do on. If you allow your child to continue to use all these gadgets, all these social media outlets and everything, we got to monitor it. You have to monitor it, right? Because keep in mind, here's the thing. Children are most susceptible to negative influence. Always remember that. But we got to also start encouraging our children every single day, all day, every day. We got to encourage our children. We got to give our children something to hold on to. We got to create a smoke screen as far as negative influence. Because when you look at it and you think about everything that's going on, and it's much, like as I say, and I'm going to get to it, it's much bigger than what we see, much bigger than what we could even comprehend. right? So the children, our at-risk children, are being provided tools to self-destruct, right? Self-genocide, basically. That's what they've been provided with. They've been provided with the tools to self-destruct. Children don't work. Most children don't work. We don't even have. Most of the cities around this country has gotten away from summer job programs, NORD program for children during the summertime. So, even with adults, the old adage is that idle mind is devil's playground. So this goes 10 times as much for a child who doesn't think responsibly. Now they have children that most children are taught the difference between right and wrong. That we already understand that. But here's the thing: when a child is living in poverty, his parents are living in poverty. His parents are working 1 and 2 jobs just to keep a roof over the child's head, food on the children's back. Food on the children's table, clothes on the children's back. And they're working for minimum wage. What is the national minimum wage? $7.50, something like that. And for most part, they don't make no more than $10 an hour, right? But you got to work 2 jobs. You got to back-breaking work, right? So when they come home, they don't necessarily have the time. They're tired. They got to get ready for the next job. Okay, so that leaves the child mind idle, right? You can't. So what you expect? The thing is that we, as a community, have to start protecting our children again, right? Children don't have jobs. Children don't do that. But that negative influence, right? And this is for, and this goes to these negative adults that's using these children for the man. Because it's bigger, much bigger. Here's the thing. Here in New Orleans, that's where I'm located. In New Orleans, you have children carjacking cars. Most of the cars are starter car, push button starters, so they know what they're looking for. Okay, but if one of these negative-minded, negative thinking, that's using these children, they provide them with the drugs, sell drugs, or whatever. And in the process of drugs, they're sending in a weapon. And we know drugs compounded with weapon are a recipe for disaster. We already know this, right? So we get a child, 14, 15, 16, 17 years old, that's living in poverty, that's dealing with mental health, that's dealing with peer pressure, that's dealing with economical disadvantages already. And you tell that child, and they tell that child, well, look, I give you, look, I got $1,000, you go steal me a Mercedes-Benz 350 or whatever, So what you think that child gonna do? That child gonna alleviate to that, gonna resonate to that $1,000. He gonna want that $1,000. He gonna do everything in his power to get it. And on top of that, he's being compounded with the guy providing him with a weapon, right? Because these children can't buy no guns. These children got weapons out here that the military don't even see. And I'm more than sure one of these automatic, semi-automatic, or automatic weapons cost more than their parents make in 3-4 months' time, right? So how is it possible for them to be in possession of these weapons? They provide them with them, okay? So a child want to make that $1,000, gonna go carjack that, if that person do resist, all that child thinking about is that $1,000 if I get this car to this guy or this girl, whoever behind it. You see? So that's where aren't jar riding and these cars are disappearing. So basically, that lets me know that there's a market for these calls. And there's a big, big market for these calls. Right? So where are they disappearing? The police haven't arrested anybody for chop shops or anything like this here. You tell me, and I'm not an investigator. I'm not a detective. But common sense will tell me that if these children are doing all these carjackings and these cars are never being seen again, where are they being brought to? I mean, I guess that's detective investigator 101. Something that I've never had the privilege of being involved with. But common sense will tell me that much. So, okay, let's not look at the child. Let's look at where these calls, who these children are bringing these calls to. Somebody have to be getting these calls. So why not try to find out where these calls are being brought to? Right? As I said, in New Orleans, I haven't saw on the news, I haven't saw a news report, I haven't saw anything in regards to chop shops being raided, anybody being brought to justice as far as calls using ports or shipping ports. So these children are in a no-win situation. Okay, we see where they know right from wrong. Yes, we understand that children know right from wrong. Right? But children also don't know the full consequences of what they do. Keep in mind, a child's brain does not fully develop until 24, 25, 26, and some even later than that. All they're thinking about is the here and now, right now, the here and now, right? So let's look at the bigger picture. Who is providing all these weapons to these children? Who is providing all these drugs to these children? Who are responsible for these calls that all these children carjackings all of a sudden? Where are they bringing these calls? Let's not just look at the child. Let's look at where these calls are being brought. You know? So the thing is, once again, we as responsible parents have to be in our children's life. We have to be on our children. We have to do a better job. But then it's not just us, man. It's society in general. These governors, these politicians up there don't want to change the minimum wage for working class families. And they're not making enough money to provide the necessary essentials to our children. Let's start talking to our senators and our representatives who up there just sitting up there making a paycheck. They don't care. But we have to start putting pressure on them. We have to be responsible. We have to think about the future of our children. That's what we have to do. And we have to start providing. I mean, we have to start spending time, I mean, sometimes we can't, we work too hard to do it. But we got to make time. Sometimes, I mean, but, it's a no-win situation. Either we do it or we lose our job or, we don't have a house, we on the street. I understand that. But we have to start putting pressure on some of our politicians. Otherwise, our children, we're going to lose our children. And that's the bottom line. So with that being said, this is my second episode. This is my broadcast that read the truth, man. So let's start providing the necessary tools that our children need to succeed. Let's take the time out to love our children. Show our children how important they are to their future. Let's do that. Let's not worry about everything else. Catch me tomorrow on my next episode. Truth. The Reggie Red. Back at you. Be good. I love you. Hit me back.
arrangement is, boy. She got a key to his house.